Hey there, everyone. This is Colin Carasquillo, host of the Experimarketing Express podcast, the podcast where we bring you great tidbits of information in 5 minutes or less. So without further ado, let's get down to business. Today's episode is the perfect culmination of everything that my co-host Matt Wilson and I have talked about on all of our full-length Experimarketing episodes. And that is that dealers, although yes, still important to focus on the millennial generation, need to start focusing on the generation afterwards, Generation Z. Now, Generation Z are individuals that are born between 1995 and 2010. Now, you might be saying, Colin, no, we don't want to focus on Generation Z. They're too young. They don't have money. They can't buy cars. Although the individuals that are born in 2010 may be too young, you're right. They're only 10 years old, going to be 11 in 2021. What about the individuals that were born in 1995, right? All the way through, let's say, the year 2000. Those individuals are in a position at this point in time where they could absolutely need or be in the market for a new vehicle. Let's unpack that a little bit further, though. What do we know about Generation Z? Well, one, I think the most important thing, is we know that they're really not brand loyal. And we also know a couple other things which were released in this amazing Facebook report regarding Gen Z, which I'm referencing today. We'll also put a link to in the comments. But Gen Z is not brand loyal. We know that Gen Z are digital natives, so we'll explain that a little bit further. We know that Gen Z is focused on community, a sense of community, and not just in terms of being digital natives and the social platforms that they utilize, but interacting or working with businesses that reinforce the ideas that they've created about what their own sense of community means. So how do dealers take advantage of this? Well, we'll get into that, but first let's unpack the idea of a digital native. So as a millennial, someone who's 28 years old at this point in time, we adopted technology, right? Technology like this, the computer in the palm of your hand, did not really exist when we were super young, as it does for Gen Z. We adopted that technology. We became savvy as we got older, right? I think my first phone was a pay-as-you-go flip phone. Come a long way, haven't we? Gen Z, however, have only ever known this type of technology. When they were born, this is what existed. They were connected already from the womb. It's like they came out of the womb and they were connected via technology and all this stuff going on in the realm of digital, as I like to call it. So Gen Z are digital natives. Now, although we might look at Gen Z, the millennial generation, and older generations might look at Gen Z and say, man, you know, that generation, they're not social, they're really introverted, they don't, interact with their friends, and so on and so forth. That's not true. Because the fact of the matter is, Gen Z is more connected than ever before. They're just doing their interaction via this, the internet, via technology. They're probably more interactive and connected with all of their friends than a millennial might be, or someone in an older generation, older demographic. Why is that important, though? That sense of community and connection is what dealers need to focus on and actually not exploit, but take advantage of. They need to, and here's my suggestion after all is said and done, build communities. Show how the dealership reinforces the idea or the sense of community that these Gen Zers are so starving for. That's what they're looking for. So for example, Facebook. Utilize Facebook groups. It's a great tool, powerful tool. Utilize Facebook groups, costs you nothing. Create a dealership community. You can directly invite these younger demographics into that community. You can control the narrative. You can answer their questions. You can show them how you can reinforce their values, their ideals, put them in a sense of safety with all of these other individuals who might have similar questions, similar thought processes, right? We want to connect the community. We want to connect these individuals. When you connect those individuals, whether that means you start advertising to them on earlier platforms, when you connect those individuals, you have a shot to convert those individuals. Those individuals become your future sales. That's 5 minutes or less. Catch you on the next episode of Experimarketing Express.